ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Verse number 86. यः प्रैत्यात्मानभिज्ञः श्रुतिविदपि तथा कर्म कृत्कर्मणोऽस्य नाशः स्यादल्पभोगात् पुनरवतरणे दुःखभोगो महीयान् आत्माभिज्ञस्य लिप्सोरपि भवति महान् शाश्वतः सिद्धिभोगः ह्यात्मा तस्मादुपास्य खलु अधिगमे सर्वसौख्यानलिप्सः. This is a verse that is a famous, it's a summation of a famous mantra in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. And a little bit of the from the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita as well. So we'll be looking into that because there are lots of cross references, cross currents, and so that will be nice to look at and understand. It's a very packed verse, just like the other verses in Satasloki. And this one is the last verse in this, what is that called? I think it's the one of the last verses in this Karma Prakarana. Karma Prakarana means this little section on karma, which we were discussing just now. We have been discussing. And so this is connected with a very wonderful wonderful trajectory. See, the verse speaks to many different levels of understanding. So, for the person who is fixated with questions of Swarga, afterlife, because see, this life itself is so difficult to manage. So, therefore, people love the thought of afterlife. Fir kya? What will happen afterwards? Because I want something to look forward to. Just like children will eat dinner only if there is dessert. So the afterlife should be like, should be sweet, should be there, should be something long lasting. So it speaks to that concern, which is there in many people's heart, especially those that are uninitiated in Vedanta. Those who don't know Vedanta, of course, this is what the only thing to look forward to. And this is this is one level upon which the verse operates, because it says that if you leave this body without knowing the Atma, what happens? And then if you know the Atma a little bit, you didn't attend all the classes, you just cheated little bit, and your pursuit was not that serious, and you had many other things on the, many other irons in the fire. So what will happen to such a person? And then what will happen to the person who knows the Atma? So on the very basic level, this is the meaning. And then we get into many other layers. So first let us see the meaning of the words, and then let us look at the basic meaning. And then upon that we will build the other meanings that are hidden in this in the verse, along with the cross reference to the Bhagavad Gita and the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad mantras. So, yaha praiti. Pra plus eti. Praiti. Eti means goes. Okay, yeah. From the second conjugation root verb in katau. So, goes. Goes means what? Fellow can come back. Correct? Yeah, goes. Eti. Where eti? Market. Goes to the market. And there is some nursery rhyme, to buy a fat pig. Okay, so goes to the market, goes to the school, goes to college, goes to the friend's house, neighbor's house, goes to a pilgrimage. Eti, we will use the form eti, means goes, and then any time, any minute, the expectation is that the person will return. But then you put the upasarga pra. Pra means prakarshena, means forcefully. So you put pra plus eti becomes praiti, means goes all right, but no coming back. No coming back. That's why the body is disposed of quickly and immediately, because the thing is, there's no hope of coming back. It's gone. Everybody knows. So that this is so praiti means dies, goes without coming back, no hope of coming back, and mm, that's why the disembodied being is called pretaha, prakarshena itaha. Yeah, this is how the word comes in a number of vernacular languages. We say bhoot, pret. Yeah, bhuta means the person is in the past tense. Preta means gone without coming back, no body. No body there to a disembodied entity is called preta. So yaha praiti, the one who departs, means dies away. How? Atmanam anabhignaha. Abhignaha means the knower of something. Abhitaha janati iti abhignaha. Abhitaha means all round. All round means well-rounded knowledge of the Atma. So, Atmavit na bhavati ityartha. Anatmavit. So, the one who is not a knower of the self, the one who doesn't know V for Vedanta, the one who doesn't know G for Gita, or U for Upanishad, doesn't know anything, and then just lives a life, does the karma, strong arms people into listening to them, and sometimes they are bullied, sometimes they bully others. Like this way, one whole life, chale gaya, goes. One whole life has gone. So, such a person, what will happen? So, Atmanam anabhignaha, Shruti vidapi, there is a little clause. Doesn't know the Atma, but is well versed in the Veda. Means what? Knows the Upanishad to chant them for Abhisheka and all these things. Because if you go to the temples, this is what the priests do. The priests have this big deities to take care of. So they need to be bathed in various materials, dravyas, like milk, water, curds, and honey, and bananas, mashed up bananas and honey called panchamritam, and all these things. They are bathed, very nice to see. And all this, they are bathed. And so while bathing, these Upanishads are chanted. Om Brahmavidapnoti Param. The priest will put water. Tadesha Bhyukta. The priest will put milk on the deity. But if you ask them, what does this mean? They may know Sanskritam. They may say, yeah, if you know Brahman, you get everything. But they don't know how, they don't know what, and they are not taught. They have not studied it. They have studied Veda in general, but not the second portion of the Veda, also known as Vedanta, specifically to mm, to overcome self ignorance. They haven't studied. They just know generally. They are steeped in the first portion of the Veda, which is a treatise of means and ends, which is a book of desire fulfillment, and so they don't know any better. So Shruti with Api. So Shruti they know in general, but they don't know the Atma. And so what happens to them? Shruti with Api, Tatha Karma Krit. Tatha Karma Krit means according to the Shruti, they have done some things. They have done some karma. And then some good karma also. And some bad karma also has been done. Because why? because even though they know dharma, even though they are they have been educated in the shastra, the first portion of the Veda, they have uh, no uh, mechanism of managing the desires, no motivation for managing the desires either. Why manage the desire? Here there is all these things. Do this homa if you want this. Do this yajna, yajna here, yajna there, abhisheka here, abhisheka there, puja here, here a puja, there a puja. I can get what I want. This is the idea. And so the thought that maybe I don't need this at all does not even enter the picture. Or even the thought, why do I need this? Why is there such a heavy desire for this? That kind of a self reflection or introspection ain't there. So then, so karma krit means, tatha karma krit means, so in accordance to whatever they know, they have, they have led their life. Sometimes they bash up people, and then, the other people go home crying, and then sometimes they get bashed up, and then they themselves go home crying, and this is exactly how the life goes on. And then praiti, the person dies away. Then what? Then he says that karmanah asya nashasya. So the karmas for this person are destroyed. Oh, karmas are destroyed? Isn't that what we want? We want all the karmas to be destroyed so that we can, so that this is a sign of Atma Jnanam. No, no, no. Destroyed doesn't mean like that. Destroyed means the fact that they don't know the fact that all this they have invested in action. They have invested the afterlife. The afterlife is based on action. The whole of the afterlife is based on action. And why is it based on action? Because there is a desire to get results of action. This is the connection. So the whole life is just milking the actions in order to get the results of action. And so this whole setup, nashaha, the whole setup is destroyed. Yeah, the whole setup is destroyed. Why? Because the karma phalas are yielded. Yeah, you get the results of action, but the results of action are extremely combustible. They go away before you know it. Like Duryodhana's visit to heaven. Duryodhana, who is Duryodhana? Bad man. Okay, that's all you need to know. If you don't know Mahabharata, very, very, very bad man, terrorist. Okay, so Duryodhana died, and then suddenly he found himself in heaven. Oh, shouldn't he go to the other place because he has done such terrible things? Should he not go to the other place? Well, yes, but accidentally he did something good. So he went to heaven for 2 minutes, literally. And then he was there with the people fanning him with a, cow tail whisk. We have this cow tail whisk, which is very, very nice. Horse tail whisk. And then it has a silver handle. And you do this in the temple. You do this for holy people, saints and sages, etc. So here he was, he was in heaven welcomed with what? Maybe a cow is too ordinary. Maybe we should say unicorn tail whisk. He was welcomed with, and they were all doing this, and some people were playing the violin, very nice violin for him, and then some other ladies were dancing, and the yakshas and the kinnaras, celestial musicians, were singing, and the ladies were dancing in connection with the song, and some other people were peeling the grapes to feed him. And then suddenly a big chute opens up, and then he is sucked, just as he's about to enjoy all this, it is all gone. So, and then he lands up where he really belongs for a very long time before he's incarnated, reincarnated as a earthworm in the rainy season, just whose life is just there to be stepped on by all the people who walk. So perhaps that is the lot. We don't know, but anyhow. So this is this is the situation, and so so karma krit karmanaha, so the actions that are done exhaust themselves even before you can enjoy them. And the reason for this is that the exchange rate, that is the reason. So, so if you go from India, no matter how wealthy you are, if you go from India for a trip to the US or the European Union, you go somewhere, and your euros don't go very far. Why? Because you have to take so many rupees. The exchange rate is just miserable. And if you go to the United States, like 80 rupees is $1. 80 rupees in India, you can have breakfast and lunch with that. Okay, what can you do with $1? Nothing. And so 80 rupees goes a long way even now, even despite the inflation and everything. But in America, nothing. It's not even a tip to somebody, to the cab driver. You go from the airport, even the cab driver says, "What is this? You're giving, you're giving this little tip." They're also all from India and Pakistan only, but still, they they expect a bigger tip, having stayed there for some time. And so you have to be very careful, because you have spent so much of your rupees and you're getting just a small little return. Exactly, that's how it is. So if you go to Europe also, the euros don't go very far. And if you go to England to attend Queen Elizabeth's funeral in a few days, if you go there, forget it, because the pound is, that's why it's called pound. It's going to pound you and fully. That's why it's called pound. And they have retained that. They did, because of this Brexit and all, they did not want to go into this euro business. And so this is the situation. So just like when you go to a foreign country, which enjoys a much better status of living and a much better economy in general, and what do you find? You find yourself needing to skimp. You find your holiday suddenly cut short because the currency has, your traveler's checks are gone. So you have to return home, perhaps even quicker than usual. Or the last day, you just have to stay in your hotel room. No sightseeing money at all. All finished. Whatever you thought you could afford, you cannot. And then you are too old to go backpacking and train hopping, and what else is that called, couch surfing, etc. And so this is the situation. So too is the situation for the person who departs from this realm, meaning Martyaloka means the world of mortals, this realm, Bhuloka, to some other realm. If they depart, then the enjoyments will be there, but they are much more costly. So no matter how much punya you have accrued, foo, gone, gone. In the in the Mundakopanishad, there is a verse. Klavaheta adridaha yajnarupaha. This raft, for the raft that you are constructing, O Jiva, says the Mundakopanishad. O ye Jiva. Jiva means miserable person. Oh, you miserable person. The raft that you're constructing, for what? To cross over from this life to next, you need a little paddle and you need a little raft. And what is your raft made of, oh Jiva? The raft is made of good planks of good karma. Planks or little logs of good karma tied together with a string of Shraddha. Oh, that sounds so nice. Yeah. Wait till you see what kind of Shraddha you have, and that Shraddha is not enough in any case. So that string has already frayed. Why? Because the person is afraid. So there is not enough Shraddha to go around, not enough Shraddha for anything. And so the person is there, and there is, so the person is stringing these logs with a tiny little bit of Shraddha. And then what? And then you put them on the rough seas of samsara, and then you hope that it'll take this rough will lead you to afterlife. Adridaha. So the good karmas are adridaha. Dridhaha means strong. Adridaha means they fall apart as soon as it touches the water. It is not water worthy. It is not sea worthy. It is not going to take you. It's not going to take you to the realm of Brahmaji where you can sit gawking at Brahmaji and say, oh, that can I go behind you because I can only see two faces here in front. I want to see the other two faces. Can I go behind? No chance. Why? Because you think you have done a lot of good things. And this is all inflated. You have a Shobhana, Adhyasa. You have a positive projection on what you have done. You don't understand. You think you've done a lot. Oh, I did so much work. People think like this. I did so much. I gave so much. And then what? You think you have done that because you are biased. Because there is this feeling I'm giving, I'm doing, I'm giving, I'm doing so much seva, I'm giving so much donation, I'm giving so much charity, and I'm going on so many pilgrimages. And even if you win the Guinness Book of World Records for philanthropy, it is still not enough because because even if you win a Guinness award, why? Because you're discounting the fact that there are other realms and there are other people also doing other charitable acts. And all of them may be much more superior to you in other parallel universes. You do not know that. And besides, the rotten exchange rate makes sure that your enjoyment is so little that you just get very depressed sitting right there. Maybe it's not enough to take you to heaven. Maybe you'll go to the musician's heaven. The world of yakshas, gandharvas, kinnaras. And then what? Who is the person who goes? The person who is tone deaf. Bhagavan has a sense of humor. So sitting there, the person is writhing. What is this? Sa re ga ma pa. What is this? All the time music, music. Are they going to serve food? No, no, this is just a concert. Shh, don't disturb. They are singing. They're always singing. I want something else. Too bad. Too bad. And so like this is the lot of the person who praiti goes away without a chance to come back into the same body, without a chance to study Vedanta. So no matter how much they are well versed in Vedanta, sorry, in the first portion of the Veda, and no matter how famous they are, no matter how wonderful karmas they have done, their enjoyment in the afterworld, yeah, you understood, afterlife, is very, very finite, very, very short, much shorter than thought, much shorter than you thought. And so this is the lot of the person. Why is it now? How does the karma get exhausted? Alpa bhogat. So the bhoga is alpa, swalpa, little bit of bhoga. The bhoga is very, very, very little. Not much bhoga at all. Meaning, as I already detailed, as we already saw in the example that I gave of Duryodhana, etc., very little, nothing much. Tiny bit of bhoga. And then after bhoga, what happens is the most important thing here. After bhoga, alpa bhogat, punaha avatarane dukha bhogaha mahiyat. Punaha avatarane. Avatarane means descent. So they descend back. Descent is a polite way to put it. They are booted out of there and they come back. That's why all the newborn babies are born crying. Oh no, I was enjoying my stay. What happened? I was just about to make a marriage proposal to Menaka. You know, she's a nymph in heaven. I wanted to get a green card in heaven. Forget it. Even Menaka doesn't have green card. Okay, so you can't be a permanent thing. She's also temporary there. She's also a jiva like you. Oh, but I have a BFF in heaven. I made friends with other jiva. That jiva is also on its way out somewhere to some loka. And so the person who goes after enjoying a little bit is booted back, avatarane, and upon this return. That's why on anybody's birthday, don't say many happy returns. No, don't say that. That's a terrible wish to give. Don't say many happy returns. You can say happy birthday. Yeah. So this jiva, many sad returns. Sad, sad, sad jiva. Why comes back? Comes back because karma nasha means not that all the karmas are gone. Only the good karmas that were accrued was spent, without any this thing spent uselessly on some movie you wanted to see in heaven. The good karmas are gone. And so then most of the good karmas are gone. And then whatever is left, good and bad karma, mishra, little bit of mix up of both of them, they are reborn. Avatarane, they are reborn. So upon the rebirth, avataranat, kim syat, dukkha bhogah syat mahiyan. Mahiyan means lots of dukkha. Dukkha comes why upon rebirth? As I told you, because the thing is that again, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani, jathare shayanam. So, punarapi jananam, again and again being born, again and again dying, again and again being dead, and again lying in the mother's womb. So this is a journey from womb to tomb, womb to tomb, womb to tomb, same thing. From the tomb back to the womb, from the womb back to the tomb. And it is fraught with a lot of misery. Why? Because the desire has not been taken care of. Desire causes the misery. And these kinds of raga dveshas, the inability to be okay with what is. What is this Jagat? This is how it is. No, I'm not okay. Okay. Feel sad. That's all one that's the only other option. What is this Jagat? What is the jivas in the Jagat? I hate jivas. Okay. Then the person who hates everybody will be the most miserable person. Then what else is this Jagat? Ishvara. Ishvara is this Jagat. I don't like Ishvara either. Okay, fine. So this is a recipe for misery. The recipe for misery is to keep on fanning the raga dveshas in the heart. All the desires, all this big conflagration. You keep on fanning, and you fan. And after all that fanfare, you think you're getting your way. You think you're throwing your weight. You think you're teaching people how to treat you. And you think you're telling them what to do. You think you're ruling your world. No, not at all. In fact, it is just a manifestation of insecurity, fear, and all this that is keeping you just treading water. You're not going anywhere. And so much control, why does a person need? Person needs so much control because inside they feel they're out of control, and they're not able to take this out of control feeling to the heart of the matter, to Vedanta. When you come to Vedanta with this out of control feeling, then it is a beautiful turn of this journey. That's why it's called a U-turn. You have turned around and actually addressed the cause of the angst of life and the pain of life. You have done that. And so, therefore, this is, if it's not done, then one is a miserable person. Dukkha bhogaha Mahiyan. Mahiyan means lots of dukkha. Dukkha after dukkha after dukkha. Because in each life, the raga dveshas are fanned and then punaha avatarane. Then again and again you come back to the world of mortals, you descend. And then, there is dukkha. And this same thing is talked about in the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. ते तं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालं क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति. And and then it says, te tam bhuktva, having enjoyed what? Kim Swargalokam Vishalam, having enjoyed the vast realms of heaven. Kshine Punye, when the Punya gets exhausted, Martyalokam Vishanti, they enter the world of mortals. They come back. All the jivas come back. Why? Because the reason for birth, namely self ignorance, has not been taken into account, has not been addressed. Gatagatam, the verse concludes, Kama Kamaha Labhante. Kama Kamaha, that is, the people with lot of desires, the people who are the incarnation of unaddressed and binding desires, Kama Kamaha Gatagatam Labhante. Gatagatam Labhante means they just gain the finite. Gatagatam, that which goes, that which comes. So everything in their life goes and comes, goes and comes, goes and comes, goes and comes. Gatagatam kama kamaha labhante. So that is one particular citation here, that they will enjoy the higher realms and everything, but then they will not they will need to come back. They will need to come back. And then so that's the first two lines meaning. Then the second, so this is the first scenario. The first two lines give the first scenario of a person who may be well versed in the Vedas, may even know how to recite the Upanishads without having a clue about their meaning or how it applies to one person. And the person has not tamed their ragadveshas or managed their recalcitrant desires, and then as a result of that they have they have been focused on the afterlife and then gone to enjoy the afterlife. And then afterlife means what? Some heaven, etc., these kinds of realms. And then, after a short period of enjoyment, they are back to the world of mortals. And since the original problem of Atma Ajnanam and the resultant Raga Dveshas are not taken care of, they suffer greatly. That is the first two lines, the summary of the first two lines. Let us look at line number 3. Atma Abhijnasya Lipsaha Api Bhavati Mahan Shashvatah Siddhi Bhogaha. Second scenario is the person who knows the Atma. Why? Because they knows the Atma means they have studied some Vedanta. They have gone to a teacher. They have done the work. They have attended the classes. They have been part of the Zoom Kulam, and they have attended all the classes. They have done this, done that, all these things. But due to the proliferation of desire, they could not get this fully. The idea sounds nice. I am the whole yippee. I'd love to have that. I'd love to have that and hold that and have it all for myself. But I also want so many other things. And only two hands are there. How many things to grab and to hold? So, of course, Vedanta slips out because I'm busy holding so many other things. Like a child in a toy store. The child in the toy store is given some money by the mother. Okay, just buy one thing, whatever you want, one thing that you want. And the child amasses all the toys from every counter, from every aisle. And then what? In holding on to the toy, the money itself slips down and falls away. Just like that, the most important thing goes, because holding on to all the desires, the desire for Vedanta is lost in the clutter. But the person has appreciation. The person has studied a little bit, but not enough effort has been made to remove the self ignorance. It is that the person is on a diet of Vedanta light, okay, and meaning, it's just like you have what is that called? You have uh, full cream milk, and then you have 2%. So these are the 2%ers. Okay. So they know, they want, they have the desire, but 2%ers. Or even now you can get 1% milk also. And so these are the 2%ers and the 1%ers. Skim milk. Why? Because they have skimmed the surface of Vedanta. That's why. That's why they are like this. And so nothing wrong. I mean, there is no. It happens. It happens. If Vedanta competes with a lot of desires, and and one is not able to, no matter how hard one tries, it's not out of the, it's not out of the resolve. The resolve is there. The effort is not there. The resolve and the effort, there is a mismatch. The resolve is there. Yes, I want to gain this knowledge. Yes, I don't want samsara. Bye bye. I want to gain this knowledge. The effort is there. The resolve is there. But while making the effort, other clashing desires come into the fray, and then this desire is not addressed. It remains a unfulfilled desire. In the hope of trying to fulfill all other desires, Vedanta takes a back seat. So for them, such a person, Atma Abhijnasya, Atma Abhijnaha, he knows the Atma all right, but Lipsaha. Lipsa, desiderative, means labdhum ichha, the desire to obtain. Lipsa. Lipsaha means the one who has the one who has the desire to obtain. You know, uh, lipsu, lipsuhu, uh, lipsu means the like mumukshu. This is a desiderative. What other words do we know? Jignasu, mumukshu, and then what other words do we know? Chikirshu, kartumichuhu, chikirshu, and then bodhum ichu, bubhutsu, desire, the one with endowed with a desire to know. Then bhoktum ichu, the one with a desire for conspicuous consumption, bhubhukshu. Like this, all these words are there. That's it. So here, lipsuhu. Lipsuhu means the desires are there. I want this, want. Labdhum ichuhu. The want. I want. I also want Vedanta, but I want this, I want that, I want name, I want fame, I want glory, and little bit of Vedanta. And then I want everybody to be okay, and I want this, I want world peace, and I want this, and I want that, and a little bit of Vedanta. This is the person. A sprinkling. When children go to ice cream shop, there are these little candied things that you put on called sprinkles, different colors. It's mostly sugar, all sugar and color, nothing else. So Vedanta is like that. It looks sweet and it looks attractive, and I have sprinkled it on top of whatever I want. It has not been ingested properly. It has not been assimilated. So this is the 2%er skimming the surface of Vedanta Shastra, but nursing a lot of desires, a whole lot of desires. So lipsuhu api bhavati mahan shashvatah siddhi bhogah. So what happens to them? Then, I mean, you have to take the what is in the first line also. They have done good karma and they know Vedanta, both we have to say, and they know some Vedanta, but then the desires have interfered in the complete assimilation of the knowledge. And so what happens to them? So don't get scared. Nothing bad happens to them. Mahan shashvatah siddhi bhogah. So after death, they go to a place for a long holiday, much more longer holiday than the first category of people. Much longer holiday. So the Shatasloki is desperate, trying to make everybody study Vedanta. So, and you'll get a long holiday. Not a short one. See, the person who doesn't know Vedanta gets chota holiday, and you will get bada holiday. And you use bada means big. You get a big holiday. Study Vedanta because you will be in a place where there are no bugs and no bugging people either. And then you will just be there. No in laws, no outlaws, and nothing. And then nothing to disturb you. You even won't have a stomach. You will not even have a stomach upset. Oh, but I have all these stomach issues. Yeah, this stomach has been left behind. Don't worry. You have Sukshma Shariram. You have a new stomach. What is the new stomach? The new stomach in the heaven is no stomach. Oh my God! In heaven I don't have a stomach. How will I eat? You don't need to eat. Every day the food is cooked or somehow miraculously wonderful aromas waft in. You go to the dining hall and then what? You just sniff. Ah ha ha, pakodas. You smell the pakodas and you siphon them off. Without needing to eat them, you're satisfied. You smell the idlis, you're satisfied. You smell everything. You smell the chocolate cake, it's enough. No, 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 there must be an exception to chocolate cake. No, no, there is no exception. Anything you just sniff, all the nuances and the layers of that blessed dish, it just not only satisfies you on the physical level, but also fulfills you emotionally, mentally. So this kind of a heaven you'll be seeing. And think about the advantages. No need for Tums and other antacids, and no need ever to go to the doctor because you're having stomach flu. No stomach flu. No need to cook. Wonderful. No need to cook. And no dishes to clean. Nothing to buy. Oh, do I have a matching set? All these things you don't have to, all these nonsense you don't need. Nothing. So easy life is. 4 times a day or 3 times a day, whenever you want, you go. You just take a walk in the neighborhood. In India, you take a walk in the neighborhood at breakfast time, and then you can taste so many people's breakfasts through the nose. I enjoy like this every day. Oh, this is what they are cooking in their house. Every day when I go on my morning walk, I get to, I know who is the North Indian, who is the South Indian, and here is parathas being made. Here is sambar, maybe to go with the dosas, whatever they are making. So you get all the noises from the houses and you get the various aromas. So like that, go for 3 walks. Go for lunchtime walk and then have your lunch and then go for dinner time walk. Finished. No cooking, no cleaning, nothing. If we are able to live like that, how fantastic it'll be. Awesome. And so this is this is so they like this. So they will be Mahan Shashvatah. Mahan Shashvatah means for a very, 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 very long, 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 long time. And then not only that, Siddhi Bhogaha. Also they have various Siddhis, maybe even in this life, not even in the afterlife. And what are these Siddhis? The definition of Siddhi means, for a Vedantin, it means useless stuff along the way. That is the definition of, the real definition of Siddhi. Siddhi means there are 8 in number. And then in English, it all starts with telepathy, one Siddhi. And then telekinesis, keeping something, being able to move things. And then the ability to manifest, teleporting, and the ability to manifest certain things from somewhere else, of course, and the ability to occupy various bodies, parakaya pravesha, the ability to occupy the various bodies. All these things are various siddhis. Now, what are you going to do with them? Tell me. Your own body you cannot stand. Why would you want to occupy another body? And that body has to be dead, because otherwise it's not vacant for you to occupy. You can only occupy a newly dead body. Why would you want to do that without even knowing why, how that person died, and whether you want to live in that body or not? Here, God given body is there, but the siddhi is there. Anybody who, let's say, it only comes of use, I suppose, if you're being pursued by the mafia or something, and they're catching up on you, and here is a dead body going, and then you say, okay, I'm I'm in this body. You see one newly dead dog on the street, and you enter that body, and so there you escape the mafia. That's what it is. And so I suppose only in those dire straits you can shape shift and you can enter somebody, but these are useless. Anima means you can become tiny without the need for a shrink ray. You become tiny. Anima Siddhi. Hanumanji had it. Hanumanji, when crossing over Lanka, one demon came out of the water. When he was crossing over to Lanka, I should say. One demon came out of the water, demoness. And she said, hey, you owe me from last life. And Hanumanji said, what last? I don't even know that I had a last life. What do you mean? No, no, I remember everything. She also had siddhis. That's why she remembered. That's one more siddhi, remembering the last life. And again, useless siddhi. What are you going to do? Here itself, you are racked with guilt and hurt. Oh, I don't know what I did to my mother. Oh, I don't know what I did to my children. Oh my God, what is what's going on? You're racked with guilt and hurt. And then, if you remember the past lives, think of how many children you may have abandoned and how many wrong things you may have done. Will you be able to sleep at night with this siddhi? Not at all. Not at all. This siddhi of knowing the past lives of yours and other people's is a huge waste of time and a recipe for insomnia, which even the sleep specialist doctors will not be able to cure. This is what this siddhi yields. Okay. So now back to our story. I had to say this, sorry. So I have back to our story after this little digression. So Hanumanji was greeted by this demoness who knew that she owed him something from the past life. So what had he promised? So she wanted to eat him, and he said, in the next life you can eat me. And then she had a maw this big, and she told Hanumanji, you have to go inside my mouth now. And Hanumanji, operation, he said, Operation Anima, meaning, let me become tiny. And then he became the size of a wasp. Tiny baby Hanumanji. And then he just quickly went in and went out of her mouth. And then meaning that once I have fulfilled, you didn't bite, that's your problem. Because, oh, I didn't even see you, you were minuscule. Well, that's your problem. And so I went in and went out. So this is Anima. And then there is one more, one more siddhi called Garima. Garima siddhi means becoming like King Kong, becoming 100 times your size. And Hanumanji displays this in Sri Lanka also. In Sri Lanka, he is unfortunately captured by Ravana. And then Ravana says, I want to torture the monkey. I want to see him jumping all over the place out of pain. So wrap his tail in kerosene dipped cloth, oil dipped cloth, and set it on fire. And then what did Lord Hanumanji do? Hanumanji said, Operation Garima. And then he became so huge that two kinds of tradesmen in Sri Lanka went out of business. First were the cloth sellers, because all the cloth of Sri Lanka was not enough to wrap even half the tail. So they started from the tip, and they were even able to only cover a few inches because how big Hanumanji had become. And who else went out of business? The oil sellers went out of business, because no matter how much oil, it was just still dry. And the king Ravana got impatient. What are you doing? Come on, light it, light it. And then they lit the tip. And Hanumanji said, you want me to jump? Okay, I'll jump over the buildings. The buildings collapsed because he was so huge. And then not only that, with the tip of his tail, he set fire to all the buildings and then went and soaked the tail in the in the Indian Ocean, and then that was the end of that. So these are the siddhis. You don't need them. Really, you don't need them. Manifesting things. Why you want to manifest things? You have God given, ability to go get whatever you want. Why you want to manifest? No, but I have all these wants and I can't afford them. Doesn't matter. Just look at them from afar. Go window shopping. This manifesting, etc. See, the people who have these siddhis have to practice a lot of japa. They have to practice a lot of mantra japa, because otherwise, what happens is that the siddhi makes one very, it can make one go against dharma, because you're just using it for other people's good. You start using it for your own good, and that's when the siddhi becomes a stranglehold on the person, and takes them down, the road of no return as far as dharma, etc., is concerned. So even if you see a baby siddhi forming, do pay it no heed. Don't even enjoy it. Pay it no heed, and it will go away, yielding a much deeper realm of understanding and fulfillment that the siddhi can afford. Siddhi just makes you a performing monkey. That's all. You gather a crowd and say, "Oh, here is this gold coin." Who needs that? Nobody needs that. Oh, but what about the saints who did all this? They did it for a purpose. They did it to perhaps to bring some awareness and bhakti, and maybe that's where the people were, and they had to do that. They had to do a few things to increase the shraddha in the people. And that was then. We don't question why somebody else, some holy person did it, but that doesn't mean that we need to do it. There's always an exception to the rule, and the exception just goes to re-inscribe the rule. That's how we have to take it. So then siddhi yoga, so all kinds of siddhi also the person enjoys. This is the second scenario in line number 3. Now the last line number 4. He atma tasmad लिप्सः अपि महान् सिद्धिभोगः हि आत्मा तस्माद् उपास्य खलु तद अधिगमे सर्वसौख्यान् अलिप्सोः. So the third kind of person is the what is that? Is the person who has. Wait, I just lost this line. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong verse. I'm looking at the tika for the wrong verse. Okay, here we go. So the tatha alipsoho. Alipsoho means the person who has no desires or has mastered the desires. Meaning the person for whom Vedanta has become a reality, and the person who is living this knowledge, alipsoho siddhi anapekshasya. So for the person who doesn't want any siddhis, atma abhignasya purushasya, for the person who knows the atma, tad adhigame, knowing this, meaning when they know this, atma praptau, when they gain this atma, then sarva saukhyani bhavanti, paramananda praptir bhavati ityarthah. So sarva saukhyani bhavanti, so the person who knows the atma gets whatever they desire. Sarvan Kaman Samashnute, the Taittiriya Upanishad says. But then how is this possible? What is the connection between the study of Vedanta and gaining whatever you desire? This many people are flummoxed, and many people are very hazy about that connection, and it seems too far-fetched. How can I know the Atma and then get all this connection? Get everything that I want. How will Vedanta take care of all my desires? The truth is, here's the secret, it won't. Oh, you waited till the end of the class to tell me. I could have logged off a long time ago. It won't. But don't go away, because there is a very big and an important but here. It won't take care of each and every desire. It will not bring you a cup of tea. It will not bring you your croissant. It will not do all those things. Then what will it do? It will not take care of your desires. It will take care of the desirer, which is you, the ahankara. It will take care of that, the notion that I am the desire. That is more effective than taking care of each and every desire. It will take care of the desirer, meaning it will reveal the desiring person which you have been identifying with as a superimposition, as it were, upon the I that is free of being a desiring person. That is what it will do. So you see, there are two ways of going about it. You can either, so you can, so if there is a thief in the neighborhood and the person is robbing every house, so what can let's say there is a kingdom and the king says, okay, I want to be known as a very good king. So find out what has been taken away from each house and compensate them from the royal treasury. Is that going to catch the thief? No. This is a patchwork thing. So fulfilling every desire is not catching the thief. The thief who is walking under false pretenses thinking I am the desirer. That is the person that has to be caught to curb the spate of robberies in the town. And no matter how generous, the king cannot keep on giving money from the coffers to compensate for each person's loss. You have to catch the thief. And here also the sly, slinky ahankara, which has gone and identified with the desiring person, the raga, dvesha, the ragi, the dveshi, that is the one that is to be caught. Not every desire fulfilled, thinking that that is correct. No, this is the spoof. And so when that happens, there is something which is very interesting. There is a law that gets activated as soon as I catch hold of the desiring person and I interrogate them, I query them, and then I expose them. I expose this spoof. Something very and a universal law. This Bhagavan's law takes effect. And what is that law? you know, Whatever you want, you are being non-separate from the whole. Whatever you want comes. You become Siddha Sankalpaha, Satya Sankalpaha. Because you don't want anything. This is the law. Whenever you don't want, that's when it comes. When you let go, you don't sort of let go secretly and then still hold on to it. No. When you truly let go, then it comes without even a lesha, a residue of desire lurking in the heart. It goes. The desire has gone for that particular item, let us say. Then it comes. Then it comes in many, many varieties. Like the diabetic being surrounded by sweets. Very safe because the person cannot eat. If they want to be alive, they cannot touch any of these things. So it's like that. Oh, but then it's so ironical. What is the use? The use is that you can enjoy without having that dependency. That's a very big use. If there is dependency, there is sorrow, there is fear, there is pain, there is all kinds of things. And so here there is no dependency. And so you can enjoy everything, you can touch everything without being caught in that thing. There is no sorrow, there is no misery, there is no fear, there is no need to protect it from other predators, there is no competition. Think of that relief, think of that happiness, think of all that wonderful things. Absolutely wonderful. And so therefore the third option is of course the most desired option. And then we will see the cross references with the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 2 weeks from now. Not next week, but the week after that. All right. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. The weekend classes, all of them will meet. So Saturday, Sunday morning we have Bhashya class, and then we Saturday, Sunday evening we have Bodhasara and Mundakopanishad, respectively. All right. This is of course American time. All right. All the best. Om Tat Sat.